Hey friends, so today's video is going to be about bronzing and contouring. And I'm super excited to bring this video to you because I've been getting a lot of questions about what is the difference between bronzing and contouring? How do I know what the difference is? And there's a lot of people who are like, Christina, I didn't even know that there was a difference between bronzing and contouring. So whatever category that you fall into, I hope that this video can be made short and sweet, straight to the point, and very helpful for you guys to understand and actually see what the difference is between bronzing and contouring. So if you didn't already notice, I am actually not wearing any bronzer, contour, blush, or highlight because I wanted to show you guys in action where to apply the product along with describing what the difference is between the two. So the most important and crucial part to understanding what the difference is between a bronzer and a contour is that they are two completely different undertones. When you're outside in the sunshine, and I was gonna do an example today for you, but in Portland, it is an icky day outside, so we have no sunshine here. But you can still do this even if you weren't standing in the sunshine. But when you are standing outside and you look down at the ground, your shadow is a gray color. Your shadow is not a warm orange undertone. The whole idea of contouring is to mimic shadows on the face. With that being said, you want to make sure that when you're contouring, the whole understanding and what you're trying to achieve is the shadow of something on your face. So when you're working with bronzers and contours, two obvious undertones. You have a gray undertone, and then you also have a warm undertone. The gray undertone would be the contour because, again, just like when you're standing outside and you're looking at your shadow, it is gray, it is not going to be orange. So again, a contour shade is going to mimic a shadowing you're trying to mimic on your face. A bronzer is going to have a warmer undertone. It is not going to be anything gray. It's going to warm up the face. It's going to give you more of a suntan kiss look. You can work with anything that you already love. I'm just gonna be working with powder today because it's gonna be the quickest and the easiest to make this video nice and short and sweet for you. But I'm gonna be working with powder today, like I just mentioned. So what I like to do is I always like to start with the contour shade first. You can use anything at home that you already like, but I like something that has, like, I can use the side of it to get a nice chisel. You can also use a fan brush as well. Some people might be surprised by this, but if you just like a really nice light contour, you can use a fan brush, and this is not just for highlighting. You can use this in the hollows of your cheek to mimic a nice soft shadow. So actually, I'm just gonna use a fan brush because I know that most of you are gonna be shocked that you can use a fan brush because it's not something that a lot of people think about when they see a fan brush. So what I like to do is, again, you're gonna get the contour shade, which is more of the gray undertone, and I'm gonna load up my brush here. And again, because you are mimicking a shadow, you always want a shadow right here. I'm just going to follow the hollows of my cheeks using that fan brush. So I'm gonna start from back here where the hairline is because you don't want there to be any weird gaps. And then where you wanna stop it is when you're looking straight ahead, where your pupil is, or the edge of your eye. You don't wanna bring it any further in here because otherwise it's going to make you look like you have a 5 o'clock shadow. So again, just lightly buffing and blending. I kind of buff it upwards, but again, it's not a bronzer shade, so you're just going to use it just in the hollows of the cheek, but I like to blend it upwards just a little bit so that my bronzer and my contour shade kind of marry each other. And then I'm going to shadow a little bit of my forehead. I have an oval heart-shaped face, so I just like to shorten my forehead just a little bit. So all I will do is just take that brush with the contour shade again, and I'm gonna start in my hairline so it looks like it all blends together. And this is just gonna shade it so it looks like there's a shadow here, like it just looks a little bit shorter. It makes a huge difference in pictures as well. And then you can shade the sides of your nose. I'm not gonna do like a whole how-to contour video right here. I just wanna explain what really a contour shade and a bronzer shade do. So that should be the basics. You have the shadowing that's starting to contour right here. And then I will take a cheek or a blush brush. I will use the bronzer shade. So again, this is what has warmth. It's going to add color back into the face now that we look pretty neutral, because again, that contour shade is pretty gray. So we just wanna add color back in. So I like to keep this up a little bit higher from where we applied the contour shade, because again, we just want those two shades to look like they married each other. With this shade, I will bring it back to the hairline as well, but when I'm all finished, you will see that these colors really just look like one. So I will warm up just right over what I already did. bringing it back into the hairline so everything kind of goes in together. And on my lazy days, like today, sometimes I will just take my brush with whatever is left with bronzer and I'll just run it through my crease just to give a little bit of color and definition. And it looks like I'm wearing eyeshadow when I'm really just not. And then I do run the bronzer just a little bit onto my nose as well so that everything kind of coincides together. But hopefully that answers your guys' questions. If you have any additional questions or if I didn't cover something well enough, please just send me a message or leave a comment down below and I'll be sure to answer your questions. But really, as long as you can grasp the idea that when you look at your own shadow in the sunlight, it is gray, it is never warm. That is what a contour shade should do. It should mimic a shadow, which is gray when you look down at the ground, not orange. And the bronzer is just meant to warm up the face and give color back in now that you left everything pretty gray and neutral where you did your contouring at. I hope you guys understood, and let me know if you guys have any more recommendations, and if you have any questions, by all means, please ask away, and I will see you in my next video.